Happy Wednesday. I hope everybody's having a great day. But instead of us talking, we're going to get right back into this story. This is Jordyn's journey, part 7. How did we get here? So, when I left off in part 6, we were talking about that we had just found out that Jordyn had a stroke, and it was possible that he would not be able to move the left side of his body because that side would be affected by the stroke. The next couple days were really, really trying for us. We would go, and there was a lot of days that he wouldn't even open his eyes. At that time, he was still taking a bottle, still taking a pacifier, but somewhere after that, he just completely stopped taking anything by mouth. I have to insert this. This is a little disclaimer. The picture that I'm about to show you may be a little bit graphic, but I have to show it to you so you can see exactly what I was talking about. So there, like I was telling you, there were a lot of days Jordyn wouldn't open his eyes, and then there was this one time that we did get a chance to come in there and he opened his eyes. I was not prepared for what I was going to see. My poor baby. One eye was looking straight and the other one was kind of looking to the side. It was gut-wrenching because of the simple fact that he walked in. When we brought him in, he was fine. Well, as fine as could be. And then he had a stroke and we had to deal with the side effects from that. So I'm just going to show you the picture. That was a lot. And I remember just standing by his bed and I said, Lord, I don't care if he can't move the left side of his body. I don't care if he's not taking anything by mouth. I don't care if he has to have therapy, rehab, whatever he has to have. I don't care about that. The only thing that I want is my baby to remember who I am. That's all that I wanted. So Jordyn was like that for maybe a couple of days, maybe a week or so, and his eye eventually did straighten. Throughout the course of the time, he was doing as much physical therapy as they could. They were working with him actually to try to get him back to where he was. And I remember standing next to his bed one day and he was just like swinging his hands back and forth. And I remember telling the nurse, I was like, he's moving his hands purposefully. And she just kind of like, no, it's probably just his reflexes. But one thing about me, I don't argue with people when I know what I'm talking about. My baby was purposefully moving his arms and legs, both of them. When they said that he wouldn't, he was moving his arms. I remember coming in across the days and I would go to his crib and I would just sing to him in his ear. I'm not a singer, but I just wanted him to know my voice, to know that I was there, and I wasn't going to let nothing else happen to him that I could control. Days in, days out. Some days he would be doing pretty good, and other days it was touch and go. There were times where they would draw his blood gases and they would call us and tell us about his liver function, his kidney function. He even ended up with E. coli one time. He was intubated, extubated, so many times that I just lost count of how many times and how many things that he went through. He went through several EEGs, EKGs, echoes. It was just test after test after test after test. But God is good. God is always good. And God had to show these people that I'm not through with him. I put him here for a reason. And I'm about to show you exactly what I can do. Every time that the doctors would tell us that something wasn't going to happen, or he'll never bounce back from this, or this is what this test looked like, and we may have to do this, and we may have to do that, my God stepped in and said, no, you don't. No, you don't. Let me show them. They don't have the last say so. I do. And that's exactly what he did. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. So many times that I just lost count. But I never lost my faith. There was a time that Dad and I were visiting him and standing at his bed. He was asleep, but I was standing over him and I was just watching him and just looking at every little thing. Looking at him breathe in and out, any kind of movements or anything. And he stopped breathing. I remember telling the nurse, I was like, I don't think he's breathing. And I was calm. I wasn't scared. I was, but I wasn't, because I knew he was going to be okay. So the nurses called the code. The bed was flooded with doctors and nurses in a matter of seconds. We had to watch them bag our baby. Again, he was only 8 months old. We had to watch them bag him. That didn't happen once. It happened twice in the same visit. He stopped breathing 2 times. And I was there and I saw it both times. The machines hadn't even went off yet. And I know that wasn't nothing but the grace of God that I was standing on the side of him to see when he stopped breathing, to alert the doctors and the nurses, because the machines hadn't beeped, they hadn't made a sound. So after Jordyn stopped breathing, of course, he had to be intubated again. Say hey. Hey. There were times when we were in the PICU and there were children that come in that had heart surgeries. They had their heart surgeries, recovered, and went home, and we were still in the PICU. When I tell you the complications, oh my God, I have lost count of how many things that actually went wrong while we were in the PICU. Not only did Jordyn have a stroke, but the surgery that they went in and did where they closed the smaller hole, it wasn't enough. So that's part of the reason too why he was struggling. He was struggling so bad. They really wanted to take him right back into surgery. But I'm going to stop here because my baby is cutting up. And we'll pick back up with part 8 of Jordyn's journey. How did we get here?